Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in tonight. My name is Jesse Mayfield-Sheehan. I am coming to you live from Warrior Ice Arena in Boston, Massachusetts. Here to bring you live coverage of tonight's high school varsity boys hockey contest between the visiting Tigers of Newton North High School and the hosting Brookline High Warriors. This is the last home game of the season for Brookline, and as such, it is their senior night game honoring their team's members of the class of 2025. Those seniors being number 7, Connor Erdman, number 9, Max Guo, number 10, Jace Gungadarin, number 19, Ryan Wilson, number 23, Dylan Katz, number 30, Jack O'Connor, and co-captains number 13, Grady Ames, and number 18, Thomas O'Brien. This should be a special one tonight, and we're bringing out all the stops, and that includes my faithful co-host here, as I am joined on the mic here by my student broadcaster and color commentator extraordinaire, Brookline High freshman, Sam Lowenstein. Sam, thank you for joining me tonight.
Thanks for having me back on for a second straight night here, Jesse. Brookline looking to end what's been really a roller coaster season for them. They had that one win over Braintree, beating a lot of odds, but it's been a rocky road. 4-13 for the Warriors. They're looking to end on a good note.
Their record 6-12 coming into this season. 4-13 was their record last year. So they've had a slight improvement in their win total, but still, as of right now, they're not looking at a playoff berth, but they are looking to honor their senior class with a good game today. As you can see, the players coming out onto the ice a little earlier than usual to have their senior night ceremonies. If I see anyone getting on the mic or anything, then I'll switch over to my camera mic to better pick it up. But for right now, we'll stick with with our headset mics here for the time being. As you can see, the non-seniors lining up to, create a nice little runway for the seniors. Here we go.
Warriors. Today we have a special matchup as the Brookline Warriors take on the visiting Newton North Tigers in an exciting MIAA non-conference showdown. But before we drop the puck, we want to take a moment to celebrate our Brookline seniors on this very special senior night. Tonight, we recognize the dedication, leadership, and hard work of these incredible student athletes who have given their all to the Brookline hockey program. And now, your Brookline seniors. A defenseman, number 19, Ryan Wilson. senior forward number 7, Connor Urban. Next up, senior forward number 10, Jace Gagarin. Next up, senior forward and co-captain number 9, Max Gua. Next up, we have senior forward and co-captain number 13, Brady Ames. And rounding out our class of 2025 seniors is goalie number 30, Jack O'Connor. Seniors, thank you for your commitment and teamwork. You have left a lasting impression on this program, and we are so proud of you. Another round of applause for the class of 2025. Go Warriors.
All right, that was our pregame senior night ceremony honoring the Brookline High boys hockey class of 2025, including seniors Connor Erdman, Jace Gungadarin, Ryan Wilson, Dylan Katz, Jack O'Connor, and captains Max Guo, Grady Ames, and Thomas O'Brien. A very special class. A lot of those guys I've been following for years now, a lot of them across multiple sports, and I'll have more to say about them after the game when we're wrapping up the broadcast at the end of the night. But for right now, what a special class, and what a special night. We saw them taking photos with family members as well as current head coach Mike Yanovich and former head coach Anthony Sarno as well. Just a very nice night to honor this senior class as the teams now start getting going, because we got a hockey game to get to here. So Brookline now warming up. The visiting Newton North High Tigers will be out on the ice soon, and we'll soon be getting this one underway. So once again, folks, thank you for tuning in for this high school varsity boys hockey live stream of this senior night game between the Brookline High Warriors and Newton North High Tigers. Alongside Sam Lowenstein, I am Jesse Mayfield-Sheehan. And as always, I would like to thank Esh Dental in Coolidge Corner for sponsoring this broadcast. Book your next dental appointment with local dentist and BHS sports parent Dr. Brandon Esh for the non-corporate, personalized dentistry our community deserves. Call 617-566-0103 or go online to eshdental.com to find out more and book your appointment. Once again, 617-566-0103 or go online to eashdental.com. And as always, you can see our nice Esh Dental logo down in the bottom middle of your screen, and you can find that link and phone number in the description section down below. And Sam, you talked about what an interesting game this should be as Newton North comes out onto the ice. The Tigers entering this contest with a record of 5 wins and 10 losses, ranked 39th in the MIAA Division I power rankings that came out Friday morning. For Brookline, though, on the heels of a tough 3-game losing streak to Natick, Milton, and Wellesley, they now stand at 6-12. They were ranked 35th in Friday's power rankings, so both teams on the outside of the playoff picture looking in, and with not many games left, odds, betting odds would say neither one of them is making the playoffs this year. But even without playoff implications on the line, that a matchup between these two local rivals is going to be intense one way or another. Last time these two teams faced off, it was a classic barn burner of a contest being played at Ryan Arena in Watertown. That game on January 4th, ending in a 6-4 win for Brookline, led by an amazing 4-goal performance from senior Jace Gungadarin as Gungadarin and the Warriors outpaced Newton North and their high-scoring senior William Pryor, who put together a hat-trick of his own to lead Newton North, but they were not able to keep up with Brookline's offense. So, Sam, this should be quite a fun one.
Most definitely, Jesse. We talked about Brookline. They've had that tough stretch, but before that, Brookline got an upset 3-1 against Braintree. They definitely have the prowess to beat good teams. This is going to be a really tight one between these two sides. Newton North, one more loss, one less win than the Warriors. I think Brookline's going to come out on top. It's going to be a very close game. Potentially, they're going to win by a goal or two.
All right, so let's see what the lineups are looking like as we look at the rosters now. We'll start with the visitors from Newton North. Starting off, going in order of jersey number for the Tigers. First off, we have a freshman, number 2, Jonah Gaupil. Next, a junior, number 3, Tyler Bubanis McCarthy. A sophomore, number 4, Garrett Silwa. A senior, number 5, Thomas Cedrone. A senior number 6, Max Lee. A junior captain number 7, Brody King. A sophomore number 8, Alex Feyerberg. A junior number 9, Sebastian Gaupil. A freshman number 10, Navy Hall. A junior number 11, Ben Pachis. A senior number 12, William Pryor. A sophomore number 13, Gus Wallace. A sophomore number 15, Leo DeMatia. A sophomore number 16, Christian Cerrone. A junior number 17, Cameron Norton. A sophomore number 18, Chase Umina. A sophomore number 19, Derek McAuliffe. A junior number 21, Raymond Arthur. A sophomore number 22, Brandon Smith. A senior captain number 23, Kellen McGarry Partridge. A junior number 25, Dylan Lund-Tack. A sophomore number 27, Ryan Burke. A senior number 30, Barnaby Dano. And a senior number 31, Michael Wheeler. Head coach of the Newton North High boys hockey team is Dan Doucette. So that's the roster for Newton North. Now we move to our left. And let's go through the roster for the hosting Brookline High Warriors. Going in order of jersey number for Brookline, first off we have a sophomore number 2, Zach Riviello. Next, another sophomore number 3, Ricky Ace. A freshman number 4, Alejandro Marrero. A sophomore number 5, Waylon Slavin. A junior number 6, Greg Uptekman. A senior number 7, Connor Erdman. A sophomore number 8, Corey Toe. A senior captain number 9, Max Guo. A senior number 10, Jace Gungaderin. A sophomore number 11, Oliver Melton. A sophomore number 12, Teddy Sheridan. A senior captain number 13, Grady Ames. A sophomore number 14, Preston Bayless. A junior number 15, Aton Kate. A sophomore number 16, Morris May. A sophomore number 17, Jameson Young. A senior captain number 18, Thomas O'Brien. A senior number 19, Ryan Wilson. A freshman number 20, Ilmari Rauto. A junior number 21, Owen Lacey. A junior number 22, Vivon Suberwall. A senior number 23, Dylan Katz. A freshman number 24, Harrison Platt. A freshman number 27, Milo Parks Cohen. A senior goalie number 30, Jack O'Connor. A junior goalie number 31, Craig Haas. And a freshman goalie number 33, Evan Gerber. Head coach of the Brookline High boys hockey team is Mike Yanovich, with assistant coach James Redding. And now, as you can see from the scoreboard cam in the bottom left corner of your screen, we got about a minute to go on the pregame clock. So we're going to run our intro video. It's Warriors versus Tigers here on senior night at Warrior Ice Arena. Alongside Sam Lowenstein, I am Jesse Mayfield-Sheehan, and you are watching Brookline High Hockey. Redirected in! Max Guo! It's a continuous effort as Brookline with a continuous effort to attack. Owen Lacey, breakaway, score! Gareth tries to clear, blocked by O'Brien. Couple passes, Erdman, shot, score! Lacey skating with it. Lacey gets to Gungotteren. Gungotteren again! 4 goals for Jace Gungotteren! All right, pre-game clock has wound down. We'll soon get starting lineups for these two teams, and then national anthem, and then the start of this game. We got our first note in the live chat from Steve Sheridan saying good luck seniors and go BHS. And we got our first note in my email from Linda Fain saying, watching the last home game from Las Vegas, we are so proud of you, senior number 23, Dylan Katz, from Grandma and Pops. Thank you so much for the kind notes. Once again, everybody watching from home, always encourage that audience participation.
And respect for all in attendance. Ensure that your behaviors reflect the values that should be identified with these student athletes. Assume responsibility for your behavior and the behavior of those around you. If you require assistance, please call upon an MIAA school or security official. And now the starting lineups for the visiting Eaton North Tigers, who are coached by Dan Doucette. On defense, a junior captain, number 7, Brody King. On defense, a junior, number 17, Cam Norton. At left wing, a sophomore, number 13, Gus Wallace. At center, a sophomore, number 16, Christian Cerrone. At right wing, a senior, number 12, Will Pryor. And in goalie for the Tigers tonight, a senior, number 30, Barnaby Dano. And now the starting lineups for your hometown Brookline Warriors. The Warriors are coached by Mike Yanovich. On defense, a senior captain, number 18, Thomas O'Brien. On defense, a senior, number 23, Dylan Katz. At left wing, a senior, number 10, Chase Gungotteren. At center, a senior captain, number 9, Max Grubb. At right wing, a senior captain, number 13, Grady Ames. And tending the net for the Warriors tonight is freshman number 33, Evan Gerber. Our great nation has persevered through the leadership and sacrifices of men and women who have served or are currently serving in our armed forces. We invite veterans and current military personnel to stand. We thank you for your service. We now invite all to stand and direct your attention to the center ice rafters as we salute our flag with the playing of our national anthem.
All right, those were our starting lineups, and we will soon have our opening puck drop here with a fresh 15 minutes on the clock for the first of 3 periods. Starting in net for Newton North, a senior number 30, Barnaby Dano. For Brookline, a very interesting, unexpected choice in net as they are starting the freshman Evan Gerber between the pipes. Hope that senior Jack O'Connor isn't injured or anything like that. Aside from goalie, Brookline going all senior for their starting lineup as expected for senior night. Thomas O'Brien and Dylan Katz on defense. A forward line of Jason Godderin, Max Guo, and Grady Ames. After that first shift, they'll probably move back to some of the more natural combinations, probably put Guo back on his natural forward line alongside Connor Erdman and Corey Toe, while Godderin will probably line up with Owen Lacey and Greg Eptekman, and they might move Grady Ames back to defense. But for now, the start of this game is upon us. Brookline versus Newton North, the last home game of the season for the Warriors and senior night. Here we go, puck is dropped, and it's pushed into the Brookline end by Newton North's number 13, Gus Wallace, but Brookline manages to clear it out to the neutral zone. Max Guo trying to move it along, disrupted though by number 7, Brody King. Gets to the neutral zone where it's taken back by Jason Godderin. He dumps it in to the Newton North end as Brookline commits to an early forward line change. Skating out with it now is King. Long pass misses his target. He was looking for Will Pryor on that one. Thomas O'Brien whips it off the boards, and it's taken around the back by Dylan Katz. Disrupted, lost the puck. Taken back, a backhander knocked away by Greg Eptekman. I think this might go for an icing, which is not something you ordinarily see off what was basically a shot block.
Well, most definitely, Jesse, and here in the early going, the Newton North Tigers pushing Brookline to play ultra compact, defend the net. Eptekman, really he couldn't have been in a better position to knock it away. Very funny that I went for an icing.
Face off now in the Brookline end. Scrumming for it. It's knocked into the corner. Eitan Kate backhands it around the boards. Corey Toe couldn't quite corral it as they're still scrumming for it. Knocked loose right in front of the net. Brookline trying to push it out, but it's kept on the attack by number 21, Raymond Arthur. Now a pass from Newton North intercepted by Connor Erdman. Erdman trying to weave around a defender, gets around the back of the net, and now Erdman's taking off with it with some space. Through the neutral zone, he weaves. Erdman trying to charge in, knocked away right to Toe, pushed forward, pushed back, and ultimately taken away by the Tigers. Almost a great end-to-end skate by Erdman, but ultimately just ran out of room as number 3, Tyler Bubonis McCarthy dumps it in. Kate couldn't quite corral it off the boards, but now Guo recovers it. Guo pass misses Erdman, and it's going to be taken in the neutral zone by number 17, Cam Norton. Sent back into the Brookline end as both teams making some line changes here. Kate with the puck. Kate, long pass, gets to Erdman. Erdman looking around, wraps it around the boards as Brookline commits to the change. Redirects dangerously, but Erdman manages to dangle it for O'Brien behind the net. O'Brien trying to move it along the boards, but outnumbered here. Does recover the puck and get it out to the neutral zone. Dumped right back in immediately, pushed aside by Evan Gerber. Now a long pass from Ryan Wilson gets out to the neutral zone. Now battling up against the boards for it. Several players up there. Knocked loose, recovered by King. King slides it across to Norton. Norton skating, gains the blue, lost control of the puck, and Brookline lifts it out. O'Brien getting it out to the neutral zone. Chased down by number 15, Leo DiMattia. Now an outlet pass over to, I believe, Norton. Norton's pass deflected, but it does get up to Jonah Gaupil, knocked loose by Eptekman. Now Brookline trying to reset as Wilson passes up to Eptekman. Eptekman trying to weave, but disrupted by Gaupil. Gaupil takes it, wraps it around the boards, finds number 25, Dylan Lund-Tack, but battling along the boards for it now. Bubonis McCarthy sends it up to Lund-Tack. Lund-Tack's pass disrupted by Eptekman, but does get pushed out to the neutral zone. Taken back by Grady Ames, who slides it across to Dylan Katz. Now back to Ames, who is, as I predicted, back on the blue line for Brookline. But he's going two-way with it. Gains the blue, sending it around the corner for himself. Around the back, surveying his options, allowing his offense to get set in place. Passes it along the back, knocked loose, and the Tigers take it away. Now skating the other way with it and dumping it in is number 10, Navy Hall. Around the boards, deflects up in the air. And Ames pushes it away, and a long insert was blocked, but not blocked enough. But now Ames tries to pass, blocked once again. Big blocks there by, I believe, Bubonis McCarthy, as Brookline could have gone on a rush there. Newton North pushes it around the back. Now Brookline lifts it out, blocked at the blue line, but corralled by Katz. Katz pushing through with it. Katz charging in. Katz pass blocked, but right to Toe. Toe's shot saved. Put back shot. Score! No! They said no. Wait, did they say no or did they say yes? I saw a no goal and I saw a goal signal. What's happening?
It looked like the first shot hit off the top of the bar and out, and then the second chance went in for Brookline.
Yes, but they waved. Were they waving off the first shot and then signaled in the second shot? Is that what happened?
The scoreboard says no goal.
They're waiting for the officials. The officials are still conferring. If it's a goal, I believe it's a goal for Corey Toe, as they're going to discuss it. I think they're going to give him the goal. I think that's a goal. That's the most confusing thing I've seen since the Fail Mary between Seattle and Green Bay. Because literally we saw the official go no goal as if he was signaling safe in baseball. Then you saw him with the more pointing gesture that signals a goal. I think this is a goal. We're going to wait and see. The horn suggests a goal.
Well, the goal horn's gone off twice. Pretty evident it is a
Okay,
goal.
Scoreboard updates. That is a goal scored by Corey Toe, I think. Or no, because no, I'm not sure who scored. I'm going to wait for the PA announcer. I'm completely lost, y'all. Okay, it is Corey Toe who scored it. They say assist to Erdman and Guo, which I'm a little confused by. But either way, Brookline now off on a rush, trying to add to this lead. Erdman charging in, and a poke check knocks it loose. I could have sworn Katz would have gotten one of the assists on that one. That's one I'm going to check on the tape after I get home tonight. Pryor gets tripped, but I don't think he got a call. Brookline gets away with one there as they clear it out down to the Newton North end. But that is going to be icing.
Well, Jesse, Brookline's done a great job to keep the Newton North defense honest. The Tigers were adjusting to each side to prevent the wing attacks from the Warriors, and because of that, Dylan Katz was allowed a wide open hole through the middle, eventually setting up that goal after a couple attempts.
All right, so a goal by Corey Toe puts Brookline ahead 1-0 despite the confusion around the call initially. Oh, a big close shot, but blocked by the body of a Brookline defenseman. As now they battle along the boards. Newton North had it for a second, but now it's still scrumming along the boards, and it's pushed forward to Gungodarin. Gungodarin across to Owen Lacey. Gets it into the attack end, but it's cleared right back out by Bubonis McCarthy. Ames off the boards. Now Lacey backhands it along. That might go for, no, not icing, as it's corralled by Bubonis McCarthy. Wraps it around the boards, blocked by Katz. Katz sending it back around the other way, but no Warriors in sight to chase after it. Instead, it'll be taken by number 6, Max Lee. Lee skating with it, gets out to the neutral area. Pass forward, finds his target as it's dumped into the Brookline end. Parked by Gerber, taken by Katz. Katz up to Gungodarin. Gungodarin lifts it into the neutral zone, and it's knocked back and corralled, but lost, and now taken away by Ames. Ames taking off with it across the blue line. Ames trying to weave, but gets tangled up with the defensive Norton. Erdman instead corrals it, comes around the back. Erdman into the corner, turns around, sends it wide to the net as it ricochets around. Norton lifts it, blocked by the body of Erdman to keep it on the attack. Keeping it pinned to the boards, but Norton comes out with it and does lift it out to the neutral zone. Now a transition chance for Newton North. Charging in, shot saved by Gerber, put back just missed. Gus Wallace was right there to put it back in the net, but he couldn't get his stick on it. Has another long shot turned aside by Gerber. Wallace recovers it in the corner, but now he's pinned there by some Brookline defenders. A prime chance after the initial shot from, I believe, number 21, Raymond Arthur. Set up what could have been a big chance there, but Wallace just couldn't get his stick on the putback opportunity. Now Toe skating with it for Brookline. Dumps it into the Newton North end. Guo chasing it down. Guo, shot saved by Dano. Now battling for it in the corner. Newton North has the numbers. The attempted clearing pass blocked by Guo. Keeps it in the attack end, but intercepted there by number 16, Christian Cerrone. Now charging in with it is Will Pryor, but Wilson disrupts it, sends it around the boards to Lacey as Newton North committed to a full line change there. Pinned to the boards now. Knocked back to the neutral zone where it's taken by Lee. Lee pass misses his target. Chasing after it, Garrett Silva. Silva wraps it around for Lee. Lee outlet pass to Silwa. Silwa dumps it into the Brookline end. Chased down in the corner by Wilson, off the boards. Blocked by Silwa, knocked loose. A pass gets around and a shot wide off the stick of DiMattia. Now up against the boards, Brookline trying to get it out. Blocked by number 9, Sebastian Gaupil, as it's wrapped around the boards to the far side corner. And Eitan Kate takes a shot into the boards. He was trying to speed away with it. Now recovered behind the net by Ryan Wilson. Outlet pass blocked by DiMattia. Now recovered in the corner. A pass almost right in front of the net, but disrupted by Ryan Wilson. Good block by Wilson as Tekman pushes it all the way to the Newton North end. Deflection means no icing, as it's taken out by Lee. Sent around the boards, finds a target, but it's pinned to the boards as Erdman comes out with it. Lost it, but it's poked loose by Erdman. Gets to Toe. Toe couldn't get a shot off as it's taken away by the Tigers by number 11, Ben Pachis. Pachis dumps it into the Brookline end. Ames takes control of it. 7 minutes to go here in the first, as that one goes off the stick of Guo to prevent the icing, and it's going to be parked and covered up by Barnaby Dano.
Well, on that chance for Newton North, Brookline only had one defender back in Thomas O'Brien. A good save by Gerber, but the Warriors, they need to make sure to get back on defense. The main chance for Newton North. Besides that, the Warriors have been really in control of this game.
7:02 on the clock here in the first period. Face off. They get tangled up for it. Knocked off the boards by Toe. Pinned to the boards. Bubanis McCarthy comes out with it. The outlet pass deflected through to the neutral zone and into the Brookline end. Dylan Katz gets to it first. Katz coming around the back. Pinned to the boards now. And the puck's knocked loose. And Arthur trying to weave around with it. Arthur trying to get a pass back, but a poke check by Erdman knocks it into the neutral zone. Toe gets it across the blue line. Gets pinned to the boards by King, but now a hard pin to the boards by Erdman as they battle for the puck. It is whipped around by Newton North, corralled by Guo. Guo trying to re-control it. Arthur trying to clear it, and it's being knocked around, finally out to the neutral zone by the Tigers. Off the boards by Arthur, but recovered by Katz as Newton North commits to a full change. Katz skating with it, weaving through the neutral zone now. Going to gain the blue line himself as Brookline commits to a change. Katz taking care of business himself as Brookline allowed to make a change and get things set up in the attack end. Several players pinned to the boards as Katz got the feet knocked out from under him. Now Tekman skating with it, gets around the corner, charging in. Tekman poke check at the last second by Silwa, prevents that advance. Now ricocheting out to the neutral zone. Brookline knocks it right back in, but they have to reset at the blue line. Now Silwa, pass across. Sent off the boards by Norton, but it's blocked by Tekman. Tekman keeping up a strong forecheck, but Newton North not going to be able to get it out to the neutral zone. As Brookline continuing to block it right at the blue line, it does get out to the neutral area now. Skating with it now for Newton North is Norton. Norton tries a shot glove, saved by Gerber.
Well, Norton, they're just trying his luck with the long shot, but the Brookline Warriors, they've had most of their success to get into the offensive zone, not through passing, rather dribbling. We saw Dylan Katz weave his way through the defense there, but it's been a couple times that really the less passes the Warriors have made, the more success they've had.
We got another note in the live chat from one of our regulars, Marlene Lyons, saying, "Let's win tonight. Aunt Marlene watching the Warriors, and especially my favorite senior Dylan Katz watching from Michigan." Long shot is covered up by Gerber after the attempted long shot there from Max Lee.
Well, in those last two attempts for Newton North, the Tigers just trying more long shots as they struggled to get in close on net.
Just trying to see if they can generate some kind of a lucky bounce or something. You never know what might happen, but not very high percentage for sure, like you said, Sam. Katz wraps it around the boards, but it's blocked by Newton North, corralled now by Grady Ames. Ames sends it around, deflects out to the neutral zone where it's controlled by Lee. Lee's pass and an offsides as it went across the line while one of the Newton North players was still over the blue line. So the second that Chase Umina touched it in that attack area, it became an offsides call with 4:54 on the clock here in the first.
Well, they're Newton North just trying to work it from side to side, spread out Brookline's defense a little bit.
Norton inserts it into the Brookline end, but it's going to be taken by Ames. Ames along the back to Katz. Katz sending it right around back for Ames. Ames has some space to work. Speeds through the neutral zone, deflects it off the boards for himself. Ames going end-to-end, charging in, pass blocked. Ames was looking for Gagarin, but it wasn't there. Lacey, a shot saved by Dano.
Well, a great run there from Grady Ames. We've talked about how Brooklyns have a lot of success when they've just dribbled their way through center ice. Grady Ames able to do that and set up his teammate for a good opportunity.
Grady Ames and Dylan Katz have had a couple of end-to-end runs, and when you're able to do that with one player, you know, the fewer passes you make, the higher percentage it can be. As Gagarin takes it around the back, spins, pass deflected, but walled by Dano, almost deflected in by Owen Lacey. Now controlled in the neutral zone by Ames, and he just has to dump it into the Newton North end. Taken around the back, I believe that's Bubanis McCarthy, wraps it around the boards. A long outlet pass now, deflects and controlled now by Jonah Gaupil. Long pass finds his target, number 9, Sebastian Gaupil. Sends it into the corner, chased down by Ames. Ames around the back. And off the board, sent back to Katz. Katz around the back, sends it around. A long shot wide of the net. Control by Gagarin, sends it slowly bouncing through the neutral zone as Brookline commits to a full change. Jonah Gaupil trying to take advantage. Skating through across the blue line. Hard shot from Erdman. Stops that advance there as Corey Toe takes it through to the neutral zone. Across center ice, he whips it into the Newton North end. Chasing it down around the back is Max Guo. Disrupted, but the clear blocked by Thomas O'Brien. Bouncing along, chasing after it. The attempted clear stopped by Eitan Kate. Another attempted clear, blocked again by Kate. Long shot deflects off of a Brookline player. I think that was off the body of Guo. Now a 3-on-2 chance for Newton North. Charging in. A shot is saved by Gerber and knocked away by the defense of Thomas O'Brien. Gets up to Toe. Toe, pass across, just misses Erdman, but he does corral it. Now Erdman trying to take it dangerously across the blue line. He finds an opening. Erdman, a shot blocked by Brody King. Brookline trying to stay on the attack. Toe gets it over to Erdman. Erdman centers it, deflects back. Kate winds, fires, saved. Put back, saved again by Dano. A golden chance for Toe, but the backhand put back could not get past Barnaby Dano. Norton trying to clear, blocked again at the blue line by Kate. What an effort he's making to keep Brookline on the attack, but now it gets out to the neutral zone. Now charging in with it is Wallace. Long shot wide of the net as Newton North has to commit to a full change after a long defensive shift. Just over 2 minutes to go. O'Brien sends it around the boards into the neutral zone. Gagarin disrupted by Silwa, and now the pass intercepted by Brandon Smith into the Brookline end where it's taken by Kate. Kate looking, sends it off the glass, chopped down by Greg Eptekman. He dumps it in to the Newton North end, chasing after it around the back. Silwa and Lacey battling for it. Silwa comes out with it, trying to clear, does get to the neutral zone, but it's controlled by Ames. Pass off the boards to Eptekman, who dumps it back into the Newton North end. Around the back, Silwa, long pass, deflects over to Smith. Smith, long pass across, finds Arthur. Arthur gains the blue, long shot wide of the net. Now controlled by Gagarin. Gagarin pass for Lacey, a little too far, and it's knocked away by Lee. Arthur sends it into the Brookline end, controlled by Ames across. Gagarin couldn't quite corral it, and it's dumped back in by Wallace. Around the back, Ames with it now. Ames. Long pass to an open Lacey. Lacey skates it through the neutral area. Gains the blue line by himself. Looking around. Turns around in the corner. Looking for reinforcements. Pass through. Deflects away. Right at the blue line. Blocked by Katz. But it's going to be knocked into the neutral zone by Newton North. Battling across the boards for it. It's knocked back. Controlled by Bubanis McCarthy. 1 minute to go here in the first. Brookline leading 1-0 as Ames with it. Pass up. Now a pass across, chopped down by, hard, no, he's not getting up. Oh no. Will Pryor took a shot to the head. And he's laying down there right by the Brookline boards.
That did not look good.
He was tangled up with one Brookline defender and another one happened to be skating in and just knocked him right in the head. His head was, bent over because he was tangled up with a Brookline player. Nothing malicious, but certainly not safe. And gosh, we just hope he's okay as Brookline High trainer Alex Jazik taking a look at him now. We always say no matter who you're rooting for, you're never rooting for an injury, and
Just you really hate to see this.
yeah. Just gonna wait and see what happens here. He is sitting up. Thank goodness. You know, he is definitely going to get looked at more thoroughly after he comes off the ice, but
Good to see him up at least.
he's conscious. I'll take it. After a scary hit like that, I will take conscious. But if there's any point where he wasn't, then he needs to get more thoroughly looked at. And thankfully, he's skating off on his own power. Oh my gosh. I don't know about you folks, but I am breathing the biggest sigh of relief on behalf of that young man, Newton North senior Will Pryor, who took a hard shot through the neutral zone there. But thank goodness he seems to be, you know, like at the bare minimum, he is up and conscious. And like I said, I'll take that. I'll take that as a partial win, if nothing else.
Most definitely, he was able to skate off on his own power, importantly.
Back to the game. 46 seconds left to go here in the first period. We have a face-off at center ice. It's pushed into the Brookline end. Thomas O'Brien, the outlet pass. They do get it to the neutral zone, but it's pushed back in by Ben Pachis. Aton Kate whips it off the boards. Toe passes back, finds Guo. Guo across the blue line. Guo charging in, shot, save, put back, score! The senior Connor Erdman! No question about the score this time. Beautiful passing by the Toe Guo Erdman line as they connect for the second time and put Brookline up 2-0.
Man, Jesse, what a night already for Connor Erdman. He gets in the perfect position. Max Guo dribbling his way through past the defense. And so many times these goals coming off the second chances.
And now a shot saved by Gerber, and Newton North unable to get the second chance there. As with 17 seconds left, Brookline trying to race it up ice, but Newton North takes it back. Long shot deflected wide. So this clear blocked by Lee. Lee across the slot, shot blocked. 5 seconds left in the period as Brookline trying to clear it out. Instead, it's just going to be pinned to the boards, and that is how we will end the first period. Our score at the end of 1, Brookline 2, Newton North 0. 2 goals from the Toe Guo Erdman line. The first one, Corey Toe scored on the putback, and the second time it was Connor Erdman also on the putback, as Brookline able to get numbers into the crease for those second chance opportunities.
And what Brookline did so well in that first period was they were able to keep Newton North's defense on their toes. When the Tigers tried to adjust in the middle, the Warriors went around the sides, and then they had to readjust again. And just ended up that Brookline had a step on Newton North the entire game, leading to 2 goals.
All right, as we head into this first intermission, once again, I remind you this broadcast is brought to you in part by Esch Dental. Does anxiety keep you from seeking the dental care you need? You are not alone. Esch Dental gets it. They get you. Esch Dental in Coolidge Corner offers many options for management of dental anxiety. Go online to eschdental.com or call 617-566-0103 to book your consultation. Once again, that's eschdental.com or call 617-566-0103. All that information in the description section down below, where you can also find down in the description section a link to the official Venmo account of the Friends of BHS Hockey Booster Club. And you can also find a link and phone number for our local charity spotlight, the Brookline Education Foundation. The Brookline Education Foundation raises funds to help promote growth and innovation among Brookline educators, growth that can then be passed on to the children of this community. For over 40 years, this foundation has given out a variety of grants across the educational landscape. These include ideal lab grants for teachers that want to present their students with new and exciting projects, and teacher grants for educators that want to further develop their own skills to bring to the classroom. Many initiatives, which have become staples in the public schools of Brookline, started as BEF grants. They support literacy education training, new methods in STEM education, project-based learning, mentoring of new principals and superintendents, and collaborative work around diversity, equity, and inclusion, just to name a few. Visit brooklinefoundation.org or call 617-232-3846 to find out how you can help support our town's educators and, through them, our students. Once again, that's brooklinefoundation.org or call 617-232-3846. And like I said, all those links and phone numbers you can find in the description section of this video down below. And if you know of any local businesses or charities that you think could benefit from the extra visibility on these live streams, I encourage you to get them in touch with me. Either send them my contact information or maybe send me their information, whatever you think works best. But for now, here at the first intermission, Brookline 2, Newton North 0. Alongside Sam Lowenstein, I am Jesse Mayfield-Sheehan. We're going to take a break and mute our mics, but we will be back with the second period of this game. Stay tuned. Hello again, everybody. Back on the mic, I am Jesse Mayfield-Sheehan alongside Sam Lowenstein here at Warrior Ice Arena in Boston, Massachusetts. We're here to bring you the second period of this high school varsity boys hockey contest between the Brookline High Warriors and Newton North High Tigers. Brookline with a 2-0 lead off of goals in the first period from Corey Toe and Connor Erdman. And Sam, we'll see if Brookline is able to keep up the tremendous pressure that they were able to generate throughout that first period, while also forming a nice sort of cocoon of protection around freshman netminder Evan Gerber.
Well, they've done a great job with that. Really only a couple times in the game where their defense has been lax. They've done a great job in protection and on offense. Well, they've done so well as they've been able to adapt. As we've talked about so many times today, when Newton North stays compact, Brookline has done well on the wings. And when they've gone out to the sides, Brookline has just been able to rush right up the middle and dominate.
All right, here we go. Another fresh 15 minutes on the clock for period number 2 as we set up for the opening faceoff of the period. Here we go. Connor Erdman pushing forward with it right off the faceoff. Long shot is saved by Barnaby Dano. Erdman chase it down, trying to bring it around the back. And he does. Pass back to the point. Grady Ames, long insert, kicked aside by Dano. Another attempted clear, blocked again by Ames. And still battling along the boards for it. It's corralled by Newton North, sent around the back, just out of reach for Brody King. Coming back for it, Brandon Smith. Deflects around the back. Connor Erdman trying to chase it down. Corey Toe swoops in to get it. Toe pass along the boards, gets back to Ames. Ames weaves around a defender, weaves around another. Pass, whoa, shot saved by Dano. What a great setup, but now Raymond Arthur trying to counter, but it's stopped by Thomas O'Brien as Ames recovers the puck, sends it down to the Newton North end where it's taken by Cam Norton. Sends it around the boards. Toe passing it back around the other way. Corralled by Newton North, but a disruption by Jace Gungodarin, and I think that's going to give us our first penalty as I think Gungodarin went high on his hit on Cam Norton.
This is unfortunate there for Brookline, but they're continuing to work those sides and make dribbling a priority, stick handling, and really the less passes have worked out for the Warriors as they've gone to the same plan as they had the first.
Brookline almost had a big scoring chance on the one-timer by Max Guo off a nice pass from Grady Ames, but Barnaby Dano stands tall to the early pressure, and now the Tigers have earned themselves the game's first power play. The attempted clear by Eitan Kate, blocked by Brody King as he sends it around the back. It'll be a 2-minute minor against Gungodarin as Jonah Gaupil passes it along the back. Now a pass back to Gaupil. Gaupil in the corner. And a pass back to Max Lee. Lee approaching, coming around the back. Now sends it back to the point to King. King looking. Pass down to the corner, and Kate knocks it back the other way. Brookline trying to clear, and they do get it out. And now it's a race for the puck. Owen Lacey looks like he's going to get there first. And he's just trying to keep it pinned in the corner to kill clock. Good PK fundamentals by Lacey there as he kills off some seconds. Now sent through the neutral zone by Newton North. Jonah Gaupil dumps it into the Brookline end. Grady Ames going to get to it first, sends it off the boards. And pushed out to the neutral zone by Erdman, now taken by Max Guo. Guo on the shorthand across the blue line, charging in, shot saved by Dano, and no one there for the putback as Brookline doesn't have the numbers advantage right now on the PK, but Erdman keeping it on the attack for the Warriors. Erdman gets swarmed by Tigers there, and they take it away. Pass a little too far out to the neutral zone as it misses Chase Umina, and now off a deflection. Oh, I think you're going to say an illegal hand bat on that one is going to result in a neutral zone face-off with 34 seconds left on the penalty.
Even on the penalty kill, the Brookline Warriors have still been able to infiltrate the Tigers in the Brookline offensive zone. They've done a really strong job to get ahead. Even with the penalty kill, they've been able to get it too quickly.
Off the face-off, 30 seconds left in the penalty. Norton's pass juggled. Wallace couldn't get control of it, and now Connor Erdman trying to approach, but he couldn't weave around Tyler Bubanis McCarthy. He takes it back after the check by Max Guo. Brookline's forecheck so strong on this penalty kill as Erdman pins a man to the corner. Does get the pass out to Raymond Arthur. Just seconds left on the penalty as Grady Ames takes control of it, but whiffs the clear. Arthur takes control of it, but couldn't get a pass. That's blocked by the skates. And now a long clear for Ames. I think that might go for icing. No, it won't. Jace Gungotteren, fresh out of the penalty box, chases down the puck. Gungotteren pass. Oh, just missed as Corey Toe was right there to try and redirect it, but just out of his reach. Knocked back by Thomas O'Brien. Gloved down by Bubanis McCarthy, who takes it across the blue line himself and dumps it in. We are back at 5-on-5 as Brookline successfully kills the penalty. Greg Eptekman with the puck. Long pass finds its target, but Gungotteren couldn't chase it down as Corey Toe lost his footing on that play. Now taken back by Ames. Long pass finds Gungotteren. Gungotteren through the neutral zone. Gets across the blue line. Long shot wide of the net. Deflects off the boards. The attempted clear blocked there by Toe. Now taken around the back. An attempted clear is blocked to the blue line by O'Brien. Pass up for Gungotteren. Couldn't get it cleanly. And it's corralled now by King. King wraps it around the boards. Finds his target. I think that's Sebastian Gaupil, number 9. Sending it off the boards. Out of reach for Katz. But he's going to chase it down around the back. Gets pinned to the boards and loses it. A pass through to the slot, just missed by Leo DiMattia. They send it back forward, and now another chance kicked away by Katz. Great shot block there. Now Eptekman skating with it. Passes for Gungotteren. Gungotteren across the blue line. Long shot wide of the net. Around the boards it goes. Kate off the bench pushes it back into the attack end, but it's corralled behind the net by King. King skating out with it through the neutral zone. Outnumbered and loses the puck as Kate sends it off the boards, blocked, and off the boards taken by King. King's got an opening, shot is in. Brody King gets Newton North on the board with a laser off that right side post.
Well, up till now, Brookline has really defended both sides of the net. That time they had no defenders to Evan Gerber's right. Part of the reason why that shot went in.
Well, I mean, it went left to right. I mean, my goodness, you're not going to put defensemen in the way of the goalie at the post. What were they supposed to do? It was just a really good move by King, I feel like, getting around a double team. And
that's what Brookline has done so well. They've been doing great with stick handling. That time, it's Newton North and Brody King.
Assisted by number 6, Max Lee, and number 9, Sebastian Gaupil.
They give the assists there to Max Lee and Sebastian Gaupil. Once again, when it comes to assists, I'm going to double check on my tape when I get back home tonight. But a 2-1 score with 10 minutes on the clock here in the second period as Newton North cuts the Brookline lead down to 1, and they're trying to jam it in, but covered up by Evan Gerber.
And just you can really sense a momentum switch going on in this game after that goal from Brody King. Now with Newton North again in the offensive zone and applying pressure.
Off the face-off, Brookline trying to clear it out, and Erdman will take it through the neutral zone. Dumps it into the Newton North end. Off the backboards, Toe couldn't quite corral it, but Erdman does corral it around the back. Pass finds Guo. Guo lost it to a poke check. Controlled by Jonah Gaupil, but now a poke check from Erdman. Trying to move with it, but it's sent to the blue line, stopped by O'Brien. Now having to fight for it to prevent a potential rush as Newton North went up with it. Now back through the neutral zone. Pass deflects through. And now stolen back by Erdman. Erdman advancing. Erdman just patiently looking around. Sends it back to O'Brien. O'Brien tries a shot, kind of whiffed on that one. Knocked back right to Erdman at the point. Erdman long shot, kicked aside there by Newton North by Christian Cerrone. Now the attempted clear blocked by Grady Ames. Now taken back by Newton North, and a long clear is going to go for icing.
And that possession proving important for the Warriors. Now Brookline getting an offensive zone face-off, stifling the momentum, which has been so important for Brookline today. They controlled the entire first period, getting 2 goals, and it was because they were on the upper hand against Newton North, keeping them on their toes.
Off the face-off, they're scrumming for it, knocked to the far side. Still battling along the boards for it. Still trying to knock it loose. And ultimately the wraparound. Gungadarin sends a pass to the slot, but Aptekman in too much traffic, couldn't get a shot off. Dumped into the Brookline end, pushed aside by Gerber into the corner. And now along the boards, Smith comes out with it. Smith working along the back pass. Nobody there in the slot to take control of it, and now Gungadarin taking it the other way. Gungadarin across the blue line, lost the puck, but chase it down. Deflects out to the neutral zone where it's controlled by Ryan Wilson. Wilson, long shot saved by Dano, controlled by Norton. Norton lifts it high off the glass, and I think that'll go for an icing. And that will take us right back to the Newton North end for another face-off.
We haven't seen a lot of icing calls in this game, a bunch more here in this second period, and it came as both teams have pushed each other to the sides, and it's really been less even in a way. When Newton North has been on the upper hand, they've been pushing Brookline fully into their defensive zone. Same for what Brookline's doing right now.
The attempted clear by Max Lee, stopped by Grady Ames. Long insert off the back end. Oh, couldn't be put past Dano by Erdman. Toe recovers, sends it to Erdman, sent back to Toe as it's bouncing along the near side boards. No one able to get clean control of it. But now taken but stopped by Aton Kate, but knocked back by Bubanis McCarthy. Gets across to Lee. Lee now back to Bubanis McCarthy. Back to Lee. Pass up as Brookline might have been making a bit of a change there. Pass just out of reach for DiMattia. DiMattia sends it back to Bubanis McCarthy. Across to Lee. Lee long shot blocked wide into the corner. Ames sending it around. Deflects back Lee. Lee whiffed on his shot there, but it helps him. But this shot now blocked, and now he corrals it again. Lee pass back to Bubanis McCarthy, almost deflected away by Toe, but Bubanis McCarthy corrals it, takes it into the corner. Pass back. Now long insert wide of the net. Ricochets around. DiMattia sends it back for Lee. Blocked and kicked forward now by Kate. Brookline finally gets the takeaway they were looking for as Kate racing up with it. Kate into the corner trying to spin around but lost his footing. Erdman corrals it around the back. Erdman couldn't get a pass fully off as now Newton North trying to skate out with it. But a hard check from Greg Aptekman as a player lost balance, and I think this is going to be a delayed penalty. No, it isn't. That was a hand up for offsides. My mistake. Sometimes I mix up the signals by the officials. My mistake there. Now Aptekman with the puck. Pass intercepted and a shot wide of the net from Wallisk. Now Wallisk recovers the puck. Staying with it into the corner, but it's knocked loose by the Brookline defense. Being taken out now. Ricochets around. Oliver Melton trying to take control, but it's taken back instead by Newton North by, I think, Cerrone. Still battling, so physical through the neutral zone between these two teams. It goes into the Brookline end where it's taken by Kate. Kate's pass deflects off the body of Aptekman. Kate has to take it again. Long pass misses everybody, and I think this will go for an icing.
Well, here Newton North applying a bit more pressure. They've been dominating Brookline into each of their corners, but the Tigers haven't had a lot of clean looks. That's something Brookline's done a great job of in their defense. They've stayed really compact and not allowing for clean looks.
We got another note in the live chat from Peter and Diane Barry. Looking good. Warriors from Grandma B in Florida. And I think we had a bit of a false start on that face-off. 5 minutes and 43 seconds on the clock here in the second period of what is currently a one-goal game, 2-1. Brookline leads Newton North. Face-off goes back to Brookline and lifted way up high into the neutral zone. And it's corralled by Erdman off that high-up shot by Thomas O'Brien. And I think we got an offsides call against Brookline here as that ball was being battled for right around the blue line. They commit the violation there.
Well, the first period, the game was much more dominated in the mid-ice, whereas this period, it's been much more both of the teams applying more pressure.
And it's being kicked around and finally corralled by O'Brien. Pass to Katz, sends it forward, bounces past everybody across the blue line. Erdman chasing it down in the corner, bringing it around the back, and survives the hit from Bubanis McCarthy. Kicks it around, back to the near side corner. O'Brien chases it down, pass back to Erdman. Erdman surveying, skating back to the point, and what the heck? He lost, sorry, I got so confused. He lost control of it and it went back to the neutral zone, as now he just has to dump it back in. Maybe Brookline was making a line change, I'm not sure. A little bit confusion there, but around the back it's corralled again by Erdman. Erdman passes it back around as Brookline is committing to a line change. Battle along the boards and now cleared out by Newton North. Katz gonna chase it down and take it around behind. Now skating up with it, weaves around one through the neutral zone, picking up speed, gains the blue line himself. Defender lost his footing. Katz, a shot saved by Dano. Rebound corralled by O'Brien. His insert was blocked as it goes along the back. Bubanis McCarthy with it. Sends it around the boards to Wallisk. Wallisk, long pass right to O'Brien, and O'Brien sends it back the other way. Along the boards, it's taken back by Wallisk. Wallisk tangled up with Lacey. Gets it across the blue line, but it deflects right back. Gungadarin taking it the other way. Gungadarin across the blue line couldn't get past Max Lee as Lee clears it out a long way. It's taken back by Wilson. Wilson, long pass, deflects off Gungadarin's stick, so no icing. Erdman going to chase it down along the back. And now going to send it around the back. Gungadarin with it. Gungadarin tried to pass to the slot, but it's blocked by the Newton North defense and goes all the way down to the Brookline end. Gerber gives it to Ames. Ames, long pass, misses everybody, but offsides as Guo managed to touch it with his stick. But honestly, a bit smart there, because if he didn't touch it, it would have been icing, and the face-off would have been back in the, no, wait, they are saying, I think they are saying it's either icing. I think because the pass came from the Brookline end, they're putting the face-off back in the Brookline end after that one.
Yep, it looked like it came behind the red line, so that blue line on the left side ended up being the marker for icing.
Off the face-off. Lifted out to the neutral zone by Toe. Erdman given chase. It goes across the blue line. Guo gets it to Erdman. Erdman waving around backhand, blocked by Silwa. Guo keeps it on the attack as Erdman takes it around the back. Pass misses Guo, and it's taken away, I think, by Sebastian Gaupil. Sends it across, waving with it Demadia. Lost it, but it's recovered. Gaupil, a shot saved by Gerber.
Gaupil trying to get in close. And Brookline's done a good job when Newton North is encroached close to goal with their defensemen compensating. Well, Newton North has had to settle a bunch in the first period for longer shots. They haven't gone to those here in the second.
We'll have a face-off in the Brookline end with just under 3 minutes left here in the second period. Face-off is controlled by Gungadarin. Gungadarin pass up to Lacey. Lacey trying to battle his way through. Lacey breaking away. Lacey, shot! Stopped by Dano! My goodness, Barnaby Dano splaying out to make the save on the potential breakaway chance for Owen Lacey.
And that's unbelievable. Dano fell on his back to grab it on the second chance opportunity, Jesse, keeping his team in the game here in the second.
A huge save by the Newton North senior netminder keeps this a one-goal game here with 2:49 on the clock. Off the face-off, they get tangled up. Lacey trying to whip a shot, but too much traffic, it gets deflected. Bubanis McCarthy taking it the other way. Now dumps it into the Brookline end, and it's going to be covered up by Gerber as that ricocheted right into the crease there.
That's a smart play from Bubanis McCarthy to tap it in there off the right side of the net. A tough angle, and Gerber having to get onto it.
2 minutes and 37 seconds on the clock here in the second. Off the face-off, Lacey gets control of it through the neutral zone, still skating with it across the blue line, weaving around with it. It deflects to the far side boards. Lacey, pass to Gungadarin. Now deflections, they couldn't quite clear. It's blocked to the blue line. Cats along insert, deflects almost to the stick of Aptekman. Aptekman recovers, whips a shot wide of the net. Now Gagarin corrals it. Gagarin trying to weave, but it's poked loose. Cats winds, fires, and I'm not even sure where that one flew, but it's chased down by Kate. Kate gets pinned to the boards by Arthur. Bubonis McCarthy gets hit by Lacey. Lacey with the puck in the corner. Trying to dump it back, but Bubonis McCarthy disrupts it, but is clear, blocked by Aptekman. Knocked back to Bubonis McCarthy. He sends it around the back to King. King lifts it high, out of reach for his teammate. And that will go for icing, and we'll go back to the Newton North end for this next face-off.
Well, Newton North has really had a decision to make, whether they should take long shots or try to go inside on Brookline. That play from Bubonis McCarthy, an example where he took the long shot. The Tigers got an opportunity, but here Brookline on the attack.
We got another note in the live chat from a recent Brookline High boys hockey alum, Henry Ames, cheering on his younger brother, saying, "Let's go, Grady." Thanks for tuning in, Henry. I hope post-high school life has been treating you well, and I hope you enjoy the rest of the game. And Erdman charging in, looking for the backhander, saved again by Dano, as the senior netminder for Newton North has really been keeping his team in it here in the second.
Well, Erdman with a goal already tonight. He just had a tough angle with that backhand shot. It looked like it was right at Dano.
A minute 29 left here in the second.
It's the referee saying something to two of the players.
Face-off won by Brookline. Pass goes back to the point. Ames winds, fires, deflected right in front of the net, but just cleared out by Cam Norton. O'Brien launches one over the net. Wallace gets it to the neutral zone, but it's corralled by Ames. Ames a long insert as they chase after the puck now. Norton corrals it first. Pass along the back to, I believe, King. King wraps it around, gets to Wallace. Wallace skating with it. Pass across, misses Jonah Gaupil. And O'Brien sends it back to the neutral zone. 1 minute left in the period as it ricochets up into the benches, and that's going to be a dead puck. We'll have a neutral zone face-off.
Well, on that second chance off the shot, it looked like it came off the stick of Corey Toe, but he didn't have enough power around it to turn it towards the net. Unfortunate for the Warriors.
55 seconds, plenty of time for either team to take it into the attack end. As this one's pushed into the Brookline end, O'Brien sends it off the boards. Lacey battling for it. Aptekman recovers it. And now it's taken away by Smith. Smith skating across the blue line, charging in, lost it, but now pushes it, and it's knocked aside by Gerber. Smith still battling with it. Now lost it in a sea of white jerseys as Gerber's just going to play it safe and fall on it with 33 seconds left in the period.
Well, Newton North, they've been able to get close in on Brookline, but still, Jesse, for the most part in this period, they haven't been able to get clean shot opportunities.
Important note here, we've got a penalty here at the end of the second period. Thomas O'Brien being called, I think, for a hook, as, you know, several Brookline defenders were getting tangled up with Newton North's Brandon Smith, trying to stop him from skating around with it and create an opportunity. And indeed, it'll be a 2-minute minor for hooking against O'Brien. So we'll have a segmented power play here for Newton North. Off the face-off, almost cleared, but stopped by Max Lee. Now a chance. Cerrone's shot blocked by Ames. Gaupil puts it in off the ricochet off the back end, and we are tied on the power play goal by the Tigers freshman, Jonah Gaupil.
Gaupil turning it in off a tough angle and a rough way to go out in the second for the Warriors.
So in fact, it won't be a segmented power play, as the power play ends almost as quickly as it began, just 9 seconds into the advantage for Newton North. And really what happened, one of the Brookline defenders lost his footing. It created an opening for Christian Cerrone to make a shot, which forced one of the Brookline defenders to have to come and cover him. And so when his shot was blocked and ricocheted off the backboards, Jonah Gaupil was left uncovered to jam that one into the corner of the net for the equalizer. Sent into the Newton North end, now sent back out. Raymond Arthur with 14 seconds dumps it into the Brookline end. Corralled by Ames. We are tied at 2 apiece here as Ames with a long pass deflected down, but now corralled by Toe. Gains the blue, charging in, pass blocked, and they won't get a shot off as that will end the second period. And it's been a back and a forth. The first period belonged to Brookline, but the second period belongs to Newton North. 2 goals from Brody King and Jonah Gaupil tie things up, and it's a 2-2 score at the end of 2.
Well, Jesse, in that second period, that upper hand that Brookline had where they were able to shift Newton North's defense, that went away because Newton North had the higher possession of the puck. They were able to dictate the tempo of the game, eventually getting the 2 goals, and the power play definitely just seemed to demoralize the Warriors in a way at the end.
And during this second intermission, I remind you this broadcast is brought to you in part by Esch Dental in Coolidge Corner. Esch Dental's vision is to make your dental appointment an experience to look forward to. Boutique means on-time appointments. Boutique means high-tech. Boutique means integrity. Go online to eschdental.com or call 617-566-0103 to find out how you can experience Esch Dental. Once again, that's eschdental.com or call 617-566-0103. And remember, you can find that information about Esch Dental in the description section down below, as well as the official Venmo account of the Friends of BHS Hockey Booster Club, as well as the link and phone number for our local charity spotlight, the Brookline Education Foundation. But for now, at the end of 2, we are tied up, Brookline 2, Newton North 2. Alongside Sam Lowenstein, I am Jesse Mayfield-Sheehan. We're going to take a break and mute the mic, but we'll be back with the third and final period of regulation. Stay tuned. Hello again, everybody. Back on the mic, I am Jesse Mayfield-Sheehan alongside Sam Lowenstein here at Warrior Ice Arena in Boston, Massachusetts. Here to bring you coverage of the third and final period of this high school varsity boys hockey game between the teams of the Brookline High School Warriors and the Newton North High School Tigers. We're knotted up at 2 apiece, and we got some interesting developments in net for Brookline. Their senior netminder, number 30, Jack O'Connor, taking over between the pipes in place of freshman Evan Gerber, who played the first 2 periods, allowed a couple of goals in the second, and now the senior taking over for the third and final period of regulation here in the last home game of the season, last home game of O'Connor's hockey career. Let's see what the teams have in store here in the third period as they look to break the tie. A fresh 15 minutes on the clock for this third period as we get another note in a live chat from Valerie Costanzo saying, "Go Brookline and Oliver," from Cherry Hill, New Jersey, from Pop Melton. Oliver, of course, being number 11, Oliver Melton for the Warriors. We've seen him at a couple of points throughout this game. And now, here we go. Third and final period of regulation, which we have to specify regulation because these two teams are tied, and they went to overtime twice in both of their matchups last year. And then, of course, this year, their earlier matchup ended up being just a 2-goal difference and a 6-4 barn burner. Had a false start or maybe a problem with the scoreboard clock or something with that opening face-off. Now we're going to set and try it again. It's corralled by Cam Norton for Newton North as he dumps it into the Brookline end and absorbs a hard hit. Jack O'Connor parks it around the back for Thomas O'Brien, who sends it off the glass, directs back to the blue line. Brody King keeps it on the attack, gets it up to Brandon Smith. Pass deflects off the save from O'Connor. Now it's lifted high by Connor Erdman, and I think that's going to be too far. I think it's going to go for icing, and it will. Corey Toe couldn't quite chase it down as it went too far.
Jesse, Brookline's going to need to get off to a strong start here in the third period. The Warriors dominated the first, going up 2-0, but in that second, they lost a lot of what they gained in the first as Newton North controlled the possession, therefore the momentum.
All right, a face-off in the Brookline end after the icing. And it's won by Brookline. Grady Ames sends it off the boards, blocked by Tyler Bubonis McCarthy, but now pushed forward by Greg Eptekman. Barnaby Dano there to park it. Taken around the back by the Tigers, send off the boards, and they get it out to the neutral zone. Dylan Katz corrals it, slides it across to Ames. Ames sends it, goes off the body of Owen Lacey, who now whips it into the Brookline end, or into the Newton North end, excuse me. Max Lee taking it around the back, but blocked. Eptekman pass blocked. Big block by Bubonis McCarthy, but now taken back. Eptekman shot saved by Dano.
Webb Techman, he's been on the receiving end of a couple good passes in front of net. This time trying it himself, but he's had trouble corralling them. Brookline aims to just push forward here in the beginning of the third.
Now a face off in the Newton North end as it's pushed forward. Erdman couldn't quite corral it, trying to chase it down in the corner, and they're still battling for it, and it's cleared out by the Tigers. And it ends up sliding as it kind of started rolling. It went on its side and ended up going so much further and goes all the way down for an icing against Newton North, and we'll go back to the Tigers' end for the face-off.
Well, a choppy start to start this third period. In the beginning was much more of a fluid game, not a lot of icing penalties, but you can sense both of these teams getting a little bit more nervous here in the third.
Pass to the point to Dylan Katz, weaves around a defender, passes back, Ryan Wilson, long shot kicked aside by Dano, and it's recovered by Raymond Arthur. Arthur skating up, dumping it into the Brookline end. Going around the boards, Wilson trying to clear but cannot. It's blocked by Ben Pachis. Pachis into the corner, looking for a pass, blocked by Wilson, recovered by Brandon Smith. He sends a pass back to the point. Brody King, long shot stopped. I think it was blocked by Katz, who kicks it forward for Erdman. Erdman takes it away from Katz, who almost had it there. Now Wilson passes up. And it's taken ricochets around the neutral zone. Now taken by Guo. Guo pass across, finds Erdman. Erdman, open shot save by Dano. Rebound by Arthur, who clears it out to the neutral area. Taken by Katz, slid across to Ames. Back to Katz, a bit of a dangerous pass, but avoids the potential interception by Sebastian Gaupil. Back into the neutral zone it goes, taken by Katz. Katz across to Ames. Ames, long pass, gets up to Erdman. Erdman approaching. He didn't have anyone to leave it for. Just kind of got confused on what was happening around him as it goes into the neutral zone. Taken back now by Jace Gingadarin. Disrupted, but gets across the blue line. Gingadarin, long shot kicked aside by Dano. Recovered now and cleared out by Leo DiMattia. Chased down by Eitan Kate. Pass back to Thomas O'Brien. O'Brien forced to send it around the corner. And Brookline trying to move it along. Gingadarin backhands it out to the neutral zone. Taken by Bubanis McCarthy. Sends it back into the Brookline end. Ames with it now. Ames lost it. And a shot saved by O'Connor. Heads up play as almost a costly turnover for Brookline. But now Ames trying to make up for it. Taking it the other way. Charging in around the back. Looking. Pass into traffic. And it goes behind the net. Controlled by Gingadarin. A shot wide. Bubanis McCarthy tries to clear. Stopped by Tekman. A long shot saved. O'Brien on the second chance. Saved again. Recovered now by Sebastian Gaupil. Gaupil gets it out to the neutral zone. Tekman whiffed on the attempted insert there. It's sent right back out by Newton North down to the Brookline end as Newton North commits to a full change. Ames. Long pass. Finds Kate. Kate skating with it across the blue line. Approaching shot was blocked by Norton and corralled by Gus Wallisk. Wallisk pass over to Christian Cerrone. Cerrone's shot blocked by Katz. Corralled by, I think, O'Brien. Battling along the back for the puck. Wallace had it for a second and now corrals it in the corner. Pass intercepted by O'Brien as Wallace absorbs a hard hit there. Now O'Brien takes a hard shot but gets the puck up to Kate. Kate gains the blue. Across, shot, gloves. No, not a glove save. Dano wasn't able to corral it, but now it's a long clear out, and I think that will go for icing, and so we'll have a face-off in the Newton North end with 11:02 left in the third.
Well, Brookline going back to trying to work it around the wings instead of going through the middle. And they are having a little bit more success than they were in the second period. That shot coming off the glove of Dano.
Face off, they get tangled up for it. Knocks back to Ames. Ames a shot wide of the net. Chasing after it is Erdman. Erdman sends it along the back, but it's going to be taken now by Garrett Silva. Silva sends it to the neutral zone, taken by Katz, sends it off the boards, finds, I believe, Guo. Guo's pass off the back skate of Toe. Guo recovers it and does push it into the Newton North end, and it's going to be covered up now by Dano.
Brookline there with a long shot, and it's those little things that help a team to really maintain control of the game. Now the Warriors with a face-off in the offensive zone. That's a lot of what Newton North was doing in the second period and having success with, even if the look wasn't there, pushing the puck near goal and creating those small opportunities helped a lot.
Face-off, knocks back to Ames. Ames looking, long shot is redirected, and it's corralled by Bubanis McCarthy. Into the neutral zone, it's taken by Katz. Katz backhands it, and it's disrupted, and it's kept in the attack area by Bubanis McCarthy, who collides with a teammate, but it is controlled by Newton North. Skating with it, a poke check, knocks it loose. Erdman, good effort as he takes a shot to the face or the neck, it looks like, but it was not seen. And so now Katz sending it around the boards to Toe. Toe getting sandwiched between a couple of Tigers as the puck knocks loose, and a shot cut off by O'Connor as Chase Umina was trying to jam it in. Now Grady Ames taking it the other way himself. Ames going end to end as he gains the blue line. Ames charging in. Ames shot saved by Dano. Rebound around the back, corralled by Toe. Toe gets pinned to the boards and the puck is cleared out, but that's a long clear that might go for icing, and it will.
And Newton North, they've been under a lot of pressure now. That's 2 icings in a row for the Tigers as Brookline continuing to work the sides. This time a face-off on the left side, but the shots are keeping coming for the Warriors.
9 minutes and 38 seconds on the clock here in the third period. Face-off goes back to Lacey. Lacey gets a backhander around the back to Gagarin, turns around, pass, nobody there in the slot to knock that one home. Taken by Wallace, pass back to Max Lee, sends it around the boards to Jonah Gaupil, who lifts it over the outstretched glove of Gagarin, and that's just going to be icing again.
No, a third straight icing in a row, Jesse, and you can sense the energy of the Newton North Tigers is diminished a little bit as they've been forced to play on defense more.
Yes, but of course, Brookline has still got to get one into the back of the net if they want all of this offensive momentum to pay off, because right now the most important score is that they're still tied. Lacey sends it around the back. Silva going to get to it first. Pass up to Wallace. Wallace does get it out to the neutral zone. And this one, again, rolling on its side, goes all the way down for an icing. That's the second time that we've seen an attempted slower pass by Newton North end up flipping onto its side and just rolling more like a ball than a puck.
And now they try different stuff, rolling it, shooting it down the ice, 4 straight icings. Jesse, how rare is that?
Boy, it's let's see what happens here as Newton North again trying to clear it out, and they do get it out cleanly to the neutral zone this time. Brandon Smith lost it to a poke check in the neutral zone. Aptekman doesn't have the numbers to get through the wall there. Lacey recovers the puck, passes it back to O'Brien, across to Wilson. Wilson's pass deflects through the neutral zone, and it's taken back by Lee. Lee across the blue line, approaching his shot wide of the net as he takes a hard shot. Now Gagarin taking it the other way, lost control of it, but gets it back across the blue line. Shot was blocked by Norton, but Gagarin recovers it around the back, looking for a pass. Not there, knocked away by the defense, but the clear stopped by Aptekman. Insert goes into the corner. Lacey battling for it. At the blue line, it's blocked by Katz, but Katz takes a hard shot. Lee tries to clear off several ricochets. It's taken through by Pachis. Pachis now dumps it into the Brookline end cleanly with no icing as Newton North commits to a change. O'Brien wraps it around. Long shot blocked by the skate of a defender, but it goes right back to Sebastian Gaupil. Sends it around the back. Intercepted by O'Brien. Ricochets, and it's taken by Aptekman. Aptekman absorbs the blow, and it's taken by O'Brien. Lifts it high around the boards. King blocks the clear, but Brookline's got the numbers as it deflects up to Oliver Melton. Melton skating it through the neutral area, and it goes, does it go off the bench, or is there going to be a too many men on the ice call? That was very interesting. I think it went into the benches there as the door was being opened. Both teams were making a line change, and when the puck is moving through that bench area, you got to be careful because sometimes that can lead to a too many men on the ice call.
Well, here Brookline with the neutral zone face-off. They haven't been pushed back in their own defensive end like they were in the second.
And now this is Ames charging in, fakes the shot, weaves around, charging in, pass, missed Guo. Katzen insert wide. And now a ricochet might give a chance for Newton North. Katz chasing after it to disrupt. Katz does disrupt and takes the puck away from a potential chance for Dylan Lund-Tack. Deflects over to Melton. Melton couldn't clear, corralled by Sebastian Gaupil. He sends it into the corner where it's taken back by Erdman. Erdman around the back, pushing it forward. Gets to Melton. Melton skating with it, dumps it in to the Newton North end. Off the back end, Norton clears it, and a deflection parks it in the neutral zone. Ames dumps it right back in, taken by Norton. Norton along the back to King. King up, misses Sebastian Gaupil. It's corralled by Katz in the neutral zone. Now taken by King. King disrupted, and it's intercepted by Guo. Guo across the blue line. Long shot save, Dano. Erdman corralled the rebound, but didn't have an angle for a putback shot. Instead, he fakes out his defender, trying to advance. A shot saved again by Dano. And we'll have another face-off in the Newton North end.
And Brookline's trying to work in those shots from the corners, but similar to almost what Brookline was doing in the second and the first, even when they were being attacked, they kept them to the sides, at least for the most part.
6 minutes and 45 seconds left in regulation. We are still tied. A long shot ends up redirected wide of the net. Chased down by Lacey, wraps it around the boards, and could not be passed around by Kate. Out to the neutral zone. Wilson disrupts the advance by Wallace. Deflects back to Wilson, who sends it off the boards. Now Silva, a long pass off the boards too far, and it's going to go to O'Brien, who sends it across to Wilson. Wilson gets a pass to the neutral zone. as it ricochets, sent back to the Brookline end where it's controlled by Wilson. Wilson, long pass, deflected, but Kate does get it and whips it around the boards. Chasing after it is Lacey. Lacey takes a hard shot. Now Kate couldn't get something going, and now it's a long clear as that's going to bounce along. I think they're saying there was a deflection, so no icing. O'Brien sends it around the corner to Wilson. Wilson battling with Cerrone. And a couple more into the scrum for it. Knocked loose by Lacey, but King blocks the clear. King trying to battle through several defenders, and I think that might be a penalty against Brookline. And if so, that's a major momentum shift as Brookline has been in control for much of the third. But to now go on the PK this late in the third, that's tough.
Well, Newton North has had no control whatsoever in this period. Brookline has dominated the possession and the time in the Tigers' offensive zone, and really all that momentum just shatters right now. This game, Brookline controlled the first 2-0. Newton North dominated the second. This feels like it could have been Brookline's period, but now the Tigers have a chance.
That penalty against Ryan Wilson, as he's called for interference, he'll serve the 2-minute minor. Newton North did score their most recent goal on the power play in the second period. King over to Norton, his shot blocked by Katz. Rebound by Ames as he taps it into the corner, but Brookline is just going to let Newton North take it, and now we're going to have a penalty against Newton North, I think. If this is against Newton North, that is huge. And it is. It's going to be against Ben Pachis, I believe, as he got tangled up with Grady Ames. And indeed, Pachis will be skating over to the penalty box. So now what's going to happen, folks, is we're going to have a 4-on-4 situation, effectively even strength for the next 1 minute and 38 seconds. Then for the remaining 22 seconds of the penalty against Pachis, it'll be a power play for Brookline. Any goals scored here will not end the penalty because it's technically even strength. So a big break for Brookline as Ames passes it up to Erdman. Erdman trying to weave, does keep the puck, gives it to Katz. Katz sends it forward to Erdman. Erdman in the corner, passes it back to Katz at the blue line. Katz weaves around one, but he couldn't get the shot off, and he's lucky Cerrone didn't corral that quickly enough to get a breakaway. Brookline disrupts in the neutral zone, and Erdman takes it back across the blue line. Erdman into the corner, around the back, trying to break through with it. Gets it back to Ames, who slides it across to Katz. Katz trying to pass forward, and Erdman almost had a chance to push it through, but too much traffic. Erdman does recover the puck, gets it back to Ames. Ames charging in, pass down to Guo. Guo trying to send it back, but it's blocked, and it'll be taken by Bubonis McCarthy. Long pass up to Cerrone. Cerrone charging across the blue line. Shot saved by O'Connor, and nobody there to take the rebound as it's corralled by Ames. Ames taking it the other way across the blue line. Long shot, high. Ames on his own putback, and it's stopped by Newton North and cleared out to the neutral zone. Now a long pass finds Ames again. Ames across the blue line, waiting for reinforcements as Brookline makes a line change. Ames' pass blocked and into the neutral zone. Almost a breakaway chance for Newton North. Ames now whips it into the Newton North end. Around the boards it goes. Norton's clear, blocked by Gungotteren. Norton takes it again around the back. It is now a power play for Brookline as Wilson comes out of the box. A long insert is going to be caught and snagged by O'Connor. And so the situation now is a 5-on-4 in favor of Brookline, but with just 15 seconds left on the power play, and the face-off is going to be in the Brookline end.
Well, Jesse, before that 4-on-4 penalty came in against Newton North, we were talking about Newton North could have shelled Brookline's opportunities, but now 15 more seconds for the Warriors.
And Jace Gungotteren trying to make the most of those seconds as he gains the blue line, stopped by Bubonis McCarthy. O'Brien tries to insert, is blocked, now inserts wide of the net. Around the back, it's cleared out as we are back at even strength. Pachis comes out of the box. Back to 5-on-5 with just over 3 minutes left in regulation. As now Newton North trying to take it the other way. They dump it into the Brookline end. Around the back, Wilson Sends it off the boards to Gagarin. Gagarin lifts a high pass. It's caught by Kate. Kate across the blue line. Kate turning around looking for a pass, but the pass intercepted by the Newton North defense. Into the neutral zone. Smith trying to push through, but it's wrestled away by Aptekman. Aptekman ran into too much traffic, and now Smith lifts it into the Brookline end. O'Brien wraps it around the boards. Kate with it. Kate blocked, pass intercepted. Arthur, shot, glove saved by O'Connor.
That's an open chance for Raymond Arthur there. Just a slap opportunity. And Jack O'Connor's done a great job here in this third period. Really only a couple shots allowed coming from Newton North, but he's done well against them.
Off the face-off. It's corralled by Ames. Ames sends it around. Erdman was trying to move it along but got walled. Now Ames takes it back again. Erdman does get it out to the neutral zone, but it is corralled by Bubanis McCarthy. Passed back to King. King whips it into the Brookline end. It's parked behind the net by O'Connor. Taken by Katz. Katz gets it to Ames. Ames lifts it high, finds Erdman, who taps it for Toe. Toe on a rush across the blue line, disrupted by the defense. Where is the puck? It's taken by King. Now taken back by Toe in the corner. Pass back to Erdman. Erdman along the boards with it. Looking around, spins off his man, trying to approach, but too much traffic, and it's disrupted by the Newton North defense. A long pass up, finds its target as it's dumped in by Demadia. By Demadia. Now taken by Katz. Less than 2 minutes left in regulation as Katz, skating with it himself, gains the blue line. Katz kicks it along to the back. Katz could not stay with it, taken away by Bubanis McCarthy. Sent around the boards. Ames there, fires high and wide. Now Jonah Gelpill with it. Lifts it forward to Wallace. Battling along the boards, and Newton North gets it up to Cerrone. Cerrone dumps it into the Brookline end. Parked by O'Connor for Ames. Minute 15, Ames a long pass, kicked at the blue line by Lee, but now taken by Erdman. Erdman lifts it forward, gets to Lacey. Lacey tries a pass deflected. And off the near side boards, taken by Silwa. Silwa through the neutral zone. Dumps it back into the Brookline end again. Parked again by O'Connor. O'Connor shuffles it over to O'Brien with 1 minute left to go in the third period. Gagarin spins off the defender. Gets it up to Erdman. Erdman across the blue line. Pass back. Gagarin. Gagarin's shot redirected wide. Erdman trying to leave a pass. Gagarin a shot saved. Oh, almost a big putback chance for Lacey, but he couldn't get his stick on it. And now it's lifted. I think it went off the netting. Off the stick of Newton North, and we're going to have a face-off in the Newton North end here with 40.1 seconds left in regulation.
Owen Lacey had a wide-open opportunity waiting on the left wing, and that's where Brookline has had a lot of success, just couldn't get a stick on it, but that was a golden chance for the Warriors.
Off the face-off, Lacey back to Kate. His shot blocked. Another shot deflects along the back end. Gagarin corrals it, looking, pass. Aptekman lost it. Gagarin corrals it, pass around the back. Aptekman trying to take it around the back. Aptekman still skating with it. Lost control into the neutral zone, taken by Ames. Ames weaving through. Ames across the blue line. Ames long shot, wide of the net. Now just 10 seconds left in regulation. Newton North lost their footing. Lacey looking around with it. Lacey trying to weave. Lacey lost it with 2 seconds left in regulation, and we are going to overtime. No score in that third period. And on senior night, we're getting extra hockey here. At the end of 3, the score, Brookline 2, Newton North 2.
Man, Jesse, this has been a crazy game. An even third period from these two teams. Brookline went up 2-0 in the first. In the second, Newton North got 2 goals, and it seemed that the Tigers were going to continue that momentum going into third, but Brookline neutralized that. The Warriors just couldn't take advantage of their opportunities late, and now this game going to overtime.
All right, so here is how overtime is going to work. 1 second, folks.
What's really going to come down to it, Brookline ended the third period strong. They had a couple opportunities. Jason Goddard had a golden chance, just couldn't put it through as they were controlling the offensive zone. I feel that the Warriors could easily get a third goal here in overtime. After 5 minutes, this game will go to a penalty shootout, or no, it will not.
It's not playoffs, Sam. There are no shootouts in the regular season. This game is going to go to a 5-minute, 4-on-4 overtime period. Next goal wins, do or die, but if nobody scores, it goes on the record as a tie.
Because I thought that's my bad. I thought that the games regularly went on the record as a tie without any overtime whatsoever, and that this was special. This is a special senior night game. Jesse, thanks for correcting me there.
For the third time in 4 games dating back to last year, Brookline and Newton North are going into extra hockey. We begin the overtime period. Brody King skating with it for Newton North, trying to fend off the Brookline forecheck. Brookline can't be too aggressive as they've only got 4 possible defenders. A long pass into the neutral zone is taken by Dylan Katz. Gets a pass up to Erdman. Erdman, mistimed the approach with Guo. Guo across the blue line first, and they call offsides.
An unfortunate play for Brookline, but they keep up the offensive prowess from the third period. It just seems that Newton North has become a little bit tired. Brookline's had the puck in the offensive zone. Seems that 80+% of the time they've been dominant despite not having a goal to show for it.
Off the face-off in the neutral zone. Players got tangled up, but no call either way. A long shot turned aside by O'Connor off the stick of Wallace. Guo tried to leave a pass, but it's intercepted by Wallace. Wallace's shot couldn't get in, and the putback couldn't get in. Now taking it the other way, this is Grady Ames. Ames across the blue line, no opening. His pass couldn't get through to Erdman. It goes into the corner. Now King skating with it. King weaving around. King across the blue line. Disrupted, but staying with it. King coming around the back. Now trying to come back around the other way. Still keeping the puck, passes back. This is Pachis. Pachis lost control of it, and a poke check by Erdman. But it's sent back into the Brookline end by the Tigers. Battling along the boards for it. Bodies go flying as it goes around the back, taken now by Katz. Katz looking, chips a pass, misses Erdman, intercepted by Bubonis McCarthy. This pass deflects to Pachis. Pachis just blocked by Ames. Now Bubonis McCarthy weaving around, charging in, shot, missed wide. Disrupted just enough by Katz. Now pass back, Arthur's shot goes wide. Over to Lee, his shot blocked by Gengadarin. Taken by Pachis, sends it around the back. Just over 3 minutes left in overtime. Bubonis McCarthy pinned to the boards. Deflects back, corralled by Jonah Gaupil. Gaupil tried an insert pass, finds his target. Bubonis McCarthy couldn't get a shot off. Laying out for the block was Dylan Katz. Battling for the puck along the boards. It's sent back around the back. Newton North, a long offensive possession, but now Dylan Katz, an outlet pass, gets to Aptekman in the neutral zone, sends it forward. Gengadarin couldn't fight through the defenders. Gengadarin controls it, tries to send it forward, cannot. Now a long outlet pass by Max Lee. And now Gaupil gives it to Bubonis McCarthy. Bubonis McCarthy pass up, gets to Lee. Lee almost lost it, but gets a pass across to Smith. Smith passes over to Bubonis McCarthy, who dumps it into the Brookline end. Parked by O'Connor, taken around the back by O'Brien. Sends it around the boards to Gengadarin. Sends it back to O'Brien. O'Brien skating up slow with it. Pass over to Gengadarin. Gengadarin sends it through, looking for Kate. Kate trying to chase it down. Kate trying to charge in. Kate couldn't get an angle for a shot as he lost his footing there, and it's taken away by King. 2 minutes to go in overtime. King skating with it across the blue line. Getting around the defense. Trying to come around the back. No openings yet. Still looking. Pass misses Cerrone and goes into the neutral zone. Cerrone across to King. King almost lost it, but gets the pass away to Cerrone. His pass blocked by Lacey. Lacey trying to push it forward. And now Kate takes it in the corner. Kate tried to get it to Lacey, but couldn't. Taken back. And Newton North trying to go the other way. A stick is lost. Cerrone lost his stick. Now O'Brien slides it across to Ames. 1.5 minutes to go in overtime. Ames across the blue line. Mistimed offsides.
Another offside for the second time in this overtime period. Unfortunate for Brookline, but And it seemed that Brookline, they haven't been in the offensive zone quite as much in the latter period of this overtime as they've been trying to work it towards the middle a little bit, having less success.
Off the face-off, Ames trying to pass it forward, and they're battling along the boards, controlled now by Guo. Guo trying to push it forward. It's deflected away by Arthur. Now taken by Ames. Pass up for Erdman. Pass it back to Ames. Ames skating with it. Does get around Arthur and across the blue line. Trying to get around, charging in, coming around the back. 1 minute left in overtime. Ames still surveying his options. Dumps it into the corner. Guo takes it. Guo shot deflected up into the netting. And now Brookline will have an offensive zone face-off with 50.2 seconds left to go in overtime.
And Max Guo just whipped that one. It looked like it didn't end up in the netting. It was caught by somebody on the other side of the glass. With Brookline with an opportunity with 50.2 seconds to go. Warriors looking to end their season strong with a win.
Off the face-off, it's sent back towards the blue line. O'Brien manages to chase it down and keep it in the attack end as he whips it around the boards. Gengadarin with control of it. Gengadarin pass to the corner to Aptekman. Aptekman approaching a shot deflected off the glass into the corner. Ames fighting for it. Ames does come out with it. Pass around back to O'Brien. O'Brien looking, pass, Aptekman. Aptekman whips one wide of the net. O'Brien gets the rebound, inserts, deflected down. Ames fighting for it, but he couldn't get it. Now O'Brien couldn't stop the push to the neutral zone. 13 seconds left in overtime. Ames with a chance. Ames shot saved by Dano, and he covers it up with 8 seconds left.
And a great attempt from Grady Ames. He whipped it in and almost got it past the goalie. 8 seconds to go. Can Brookline put an exclamation point on this one to end their season? One last chance for the Warriors.
8 seconds left in Brookline's final home game of the season.
And all the fans on their feet here at Ryan Arena.
At Warrior Ice Arena.
Warrior Ice Arena, my bad.
Face off. Deflects up in the air. They can't get a shot off. And Newton North trying to take it the other way. A long shot caught by O'Connor. And that is how the game is going to end. So it ends in a tie. The final score here at Warrior Ice Arena, the Brookline High Warriors 2, the Newton North High Tigers 2. Always a bit of a weird feeling when you end up with a tie, but Brookline can certainly be proud of the fight that they gave in this intense contest against Newton North, their third time going into overtime against their local rival in their last 4 matchups, and their second time finishing in a tie out of those 4 matchups dating back to last year.
Well, Brookline, they dominated this game with the exception of that second period. Just the Warriors couldn't finish. That was the one thing. They were great at center ice, getting into the Newton North offensive zone, but finishing was a problem for them as the Tigers tie the Warriors in the final game. Nonetheless, as you said, Jesse, Brookline put up an amazing fight in this one, and a game to be proud of and a season to be proud of, and a great senior class.
Well, this isn't the final game of the entire season. Brookline is going to have 2 more road games next week, but this is the last of their home game slate. With this tie, Brookline's record moves to 6-12-1, their first tie of the season. Also the first tie for Newton North as they move to 5-10-1. So like I said, last home game, great chance to honor the senior class, and unfortunately, assuming Brookline does not make it to the playoffs, which right now the odds are they won't, unfortunately, but assuming that this is going to be my last game covering this team for this season, so just want to say some last parting words here at the end of this season. First off, I want to thank the Brookline High boys hockey team for bringing me back for another season. It's always such a treat to come back here and cover this team again. Such a different look for the season with home games at Warrior Ice and Ryan Arena while Walter Brown was under construction. Very different year, but Brookline still able to make it feel like good old Brookline Warriors hockey no matter where they were at their home sites. Such a fun season. My hat's off to them, and again, thank you so much to the staff for the Brookline High Boys hockey team and for the lead boosters of the Friends of BHS Hockey Booster Club for allowing me to come back once again for another great season of Brookline hockey. It's been such a roller coaster of a year, so many fun games, so many great plays. You know, even if this doesn't end in a playoff berth for Brookline, still progress being shown, as with 2 more games left to go in the season, they've already got 2 more wins than they had last year. So they did show some improvement. And then lastly, I want to give some special final shout-outs to this graduating senior class. I want to go one at a time, something I always like to do at the end of the season. We'll start with number 19, defender Ryan Wilson. Great multi-sport athlete. I'm looking forward to seeing him again in the spring with the boys lacrosse team. He provided such a good depth piece on defense. A quieter contributor on the ice than he is on the lacrosse field in the spring, but he plays that depth role so well. Plenty of great plays we've seen from him, even in this, quieter thing. He actually had a big play in the other Newton North game over at Ryan Arena back in January, as he had a big assist on a goal scored by Eitan Kate, as he had a big block in the neutral zone that led to a goal there. So even if a quieter role, he played his role so well and still had his fair share of big plays. Hats off to Ryan Wilson for a fine high school ice hockey career. Next, after that, let's stay on the defensive line for the moment, and let's talk about Dylan Katz. Dylan Katz, it's been such a pleasure to watch him grow his game, grow from, a lower line defenseman as a sophomore to one of the primary defensemen his junior year, seeing towards the end of that junior year as he started to take on more of a two-way playing style, being able to transition the puck from end to end, as that was a struggle for the team much of last year, as back then only Noah Gurdon seemed able to go 2 ways. Dylan Katz gained the confidence to go 2 ways towards the end of last season, and he showed it in spades throughout this year, his ability to contribute as a transition player as well as a top-notch defender. We saw plenty of defensive highlights from him throughout several seasons. He's certainly a player that's going to be missed on the defensive side for Brookline. Hats off to Dylan Katz, another player that I'm going to enjoy watching in the spring with the lacrosse team. Now we move back to the net, as I want to talk about number 30, Jack O'Connor. O'Connor may have played only 1 period plus overtime today, but he has got plenty of plays that he can look back on with pride in this season. He's had plenty of strong showings in net, perhaps none stronger than that 50-plus save outing against Wellesley last year in the first home game of the year after the turn of the calendar into 2024. That's still one of the best goalie performances I think I've ever seen, period. And it was such a pleasure to get to watch, Jack O'Connor, switching back and forth in the platoon with Craig Haas over the past couple of years. And then, of course, platooning in game with Evan Gerber today. He's always given that strong effort no matter what his role was coming in and out. Hats off to Jack O'Connor for a great career in net. And I'll look forward to seeing him again come lacrosse season, because there's so much overlap with the hockey and lacrosse teams. Next, I want to talk about number 10, Jace Gungodarin, a guy who has just gotten better and better with each season. Sophomore year wasn't getting as much playing time. Junior year started to work his way into the rotation as, kind of a depth piece on the second or third forward line. This year, such a big part of their offense from game to game, made so many big contributions, multiple hat tricks in this season. He had 3 goals in the season opener against King Philip, and of course, a crazy 4-goal performance in that 6-4 win against Newton North back in January. You know, his growth on offense has truly been a sight to behold, and he's going to be missed on the offensive end for Brookline. And speaking of guys who are going to be missed on the offensive end, next let's talk about number 7, Connor Erdman. Erdman, another guy who's grown throughout the years, going from a depth piece to a premier option on offense for Brookline, and seeing him grow into that top option over the last couple of years has been so great. He's got plenty of offensive highlights that we can look back on with fondness. The biggest, of course, being that overtime game winner he had against Newton North last year at Walter Brown Arena. You know, certainly a memorable game, that one. And he's had plenty of big, memorable moments, including his goal in today's game. You know, one last home game goal for his high school hockey career. Hats off to Connor Erdman for a great ice hockey career of his own. Now let's talk about the senior co-captains. We'll start with number 9, Max Guo, who was given that C on his jersey midway through this season. And, you know, certainly worthy of it with the way that he has, you know, contributed with his great abilities to connect with his teammates throughout the years. He's shown such a wonderful ability to connect, whether it be sending passes or receiving passes. The synergy he's had with his line mates year in and year out has been incredible to watch. You know, he's, again, another guy who went from, you know, kind of a depth piece on that third forward line up to a real primary option and a big part of the offense. And, you know, anytime a guy gets promoted to captain midway through the season, you know he really showed something in that new year that the coaches hadn't seen from him before. And it's just a perfect microcosm of the growth that Max Guo has shown throughout his hockey career. Hats off to Max Guo. Next, we'll talk about number 18, Thomas O'Brien. Another guy I'm looking forward to watching come lacrosse season in the spring, but also what a story for Thomas O'Brien. I don't know, those of you who remember, a few years ago, he actually suffered a season-ending injury off the ice as he took a bad fall near his house, slipping on the ice. I think he split his head open and had to go to the hospital. And what he did to fight and get back on the ice, just perfectly emblematic of the toughness and the grit that this young man has on the ice. One of the most physical players for Brookline over the past couple of seasons, a big asset on defense, so many big hits, so many big stops defensively. He's been one of the big heart and soul players for this Brookline team, and he is going to be missed as a presence on the defense and as a captain. Hats off to Thomas O'Brien. And then lastly, for number 13, Grady Ames, and this is, amazingly, this is my 5th season saying goodbye to a player of the last name Ames. I mentioned Henry Ames in the live chat before, said goodbye to him last year on the soccer, hockey, and lacrosse fields. And now this year saying goodbye to his younger brother, Grady Ames, on the soccer field in the fall, and now the ice here in the winter. And boy, as a player that I've gotten to watch across so many sports, across so many seasons, him and his older brother, I have so many memories. You know, those of you who know, I had so much fun calling out his name, that Grady Ames that I would call whenever he would score. But then even as he took a less of a high-scoring role, going from a top forward option the past 2 years, really, as he really stepped up as a sophomore as a top goal scorer, and then once again as a junior. And the effort that he has shown, having shifted from forward to defense and being able to still contribute in a big way on the defensive side of the ice, and to be able to go 2 ways in the transition game. His talent, second to none, really, as he's contributed all 4 years of his high school hockey career, and it's been such a privilege to watch him from start to finish. My hat's off to Grady Ames. And that is going to do it. My last thank you, of course, is to you, the fans, for tuning in and watching throughout this great season. We got one last note in my email from Nancy Wilson. Thanks so much for allowing me to enjoy my grandson Ryan Wilson's hockey games. You do an awesome job. Thank you so much, Nancy. Thank you to everyone who sent in their emails and their live chats throughout the season. It's been so great. Thank you to Esh Dental for sponsoring our broadcasts throughout this season. You know, call 617-566-0103 or go online to eashdentl.com to check out Esh Dental, our sponsor. You can find that in the description section down below. Also, the official Venmo account for the Friends of BHS Hockey Booster Club that's played such a big role in allowing me to come out and broadcast these games. Also, our local charity spotlight, the Brookline Education Foundation. You can also find some information about me down in the description section down below. My personal website, jessesports.com. My email if you just want to contact me directly without needing to go to the website. And, of course, my social media on Instagram and Facebook. Follow me there where I post highlights from previous live streams. But for the last time for this Brookline High boys hockey season, that's going to do it for this live stream. Final score, Brookline 2, Newton North 2. Alongside Sam Lowenstein here at Warrior Ice Arena for the last time for the 2024 to 2025 boys hockey season. I am Jesse Mayfield-Sheehan. Thank you all for watching, and have a good night.